There was a time when television didn't try to comfort you. It challenged you. It unsettled you. Imagine sitting in a dim living room sometime around 1959, the glow of a black and white screen flickering across the walls. A quiet man steps into frame. He looks directly at you and calmly says, "You're about to enter another dimension." And suddenly, nothing on television feels safe anymore. That was the strange power of the Twilight Zone. From 1959 to 1964, Rod Serling created a show that disguised its deepest ideas inside science fiction, fantasy, and eerie morality tales. But the real story behind the show is just as fascinating as the episodes themselves. The truth is, the Twilight Zone almost never existed. Before creating it, Rod Serling was already a respected television writer, winning awards for dramatic scripts that tackled racism, war, and injustice. Audiences admired his courage. Sponsors didn't. In the 1950s, companies funding television shows held enormous influence. If a script made viewers uncomfortable, advertisers demanded changes. One of Serling's scripts, inspired by the real-life murder of Emmett Till, was stripped of its meaning after sponsors removed every reference to race and violence. The story lost its soul. That moment changed Serling forever. He realized something clever. If he disguised serious social issues as alien invasions, time travel, or supernatural curses, the censors would miss the message entirely. Monsters became camouflage. Sci-fi became rebellion. Even the show's narrator was never part of the original plan. Serling wanted a dramatic voice, someone legendary, even approaching Orson Welles at one point. But budgets and schedules got in the way. Eventually, Serling stepped in himself, reluctantly standing in front of the camera. The result became iconic. That calm, cigarette-smoking figure explaining strange events wasn't acting. It was simply Serling speaking with the quiet authority of a storyteller who already knew the ending. Behind the scenes, the show was made under relentless pressure. Most television dramas took 10 to 12 days to film. A typical Twilight Zone episode was completed in about 8 days from script to final edit. Actors sometimes received scripts on the same day filming began. Scenes were rehearsed quickly, mistakes were often kept, and directors had to rely on creativity instead of money. Ironically, that rush created the eerie atmosphere viewers loved. The show felt raw, almost like live theater captured on film, and those episodes quietly launched careers. Before he commanded the Starship Enterprise, William Shatner panicked on an airplane in the famous Gremlin episode. Robert Redford appeared as the gentle face of death. Burgess Meredith delivered unforgettable performances, including the tragic man who finally finds time to read, only to break his glasses. Even the famous theme music was an accident. The eerie four-note sound wasn't originally written as a theme at all. Producers stitched together experimental music cues from composer Marius Constant, creating one of the most recognizable sounds in television history. But perhaps the greatest twist happened off-screen. When the series ended in 1964, Serling sold 40% of the show's ownership to CBS for about $600,000. At the time, it seemed like a fortune. He believed black and white anthology shows would fade away. Instead, The Twilight Zone became one of the most syndicated programs ever, replayed for decades. That share might have been worth hundreds of millions. Yet maybe the real legacy isn't money. It's the idea Serling left behind. Because The Twilight Zone was never really about aliens, monsters, or time travel. It was about us, our fears, our greed, our prejudice, and our hope. And that's why, even 60 years later, the stories still feel unsettlingly familiar. Because the truth is, The Twilight Zone was never somewhere far away. It was always just a few steps from the world you already live in.